Welcome back to another episode of Dream Chasers Insanity. Thank you for joining your host, Disney Benjamin, Dark Wizard Disney, whatever the fuck you want to call me, Daddy. And let's get into some good content today. I know we've taken a little bit of a hiatus. I had to cook up some good stuff for you guys and prepare something that I'm super excited to share with you guys. I know I may have mentioned this in the 2 videos prior to this one, but again, just because I'm getting in the process of learning more about this self-promotion and learning how when you create some kind of value that you want to share with the world, you have to be confident in doing that. Because if people don't trust you in what you're trying to share, how do you expect them to trust what you're giving them? So the promotion for this week is going to be courses. I'm going to link all of the links to where you can find this external resources in the description below. But you can go check us out on Patreon. And when you get there, you can find our courses, and you can find, in the next coming weeks, I'll have some digital products up there, some planners and organizers to just help you with your daily, weekly, monthly life as we're navigating a lot of existential changes in this world that we're living in. And then even beyond that, there's a Discord that we have too. The link, again, will be in the description below. And also you can check on my channel page. You're going to be able to see the links to everything. Always know that I know it may be triggering, especially because I know some people in my audience are autistic and have that PDA autism. So it may be triggering hearing somebody like me saying, oh, buy something. But this is a journey that we're all going on. I'm learning to make myself an entrepreneur, and you are going along that journey with me. So if you'd like to participate, then feel free to do so. But if not, thank you for being here. A like, a comment, a subscription is just as good as a dollar bill, I promise you. But over the whole scope of everything, I want to thank you guys for just being here, for taking the time out of your day to decide that, hey, the value that I had to share with you is important. It's more important than banging your head against a wall, trying to forget your existence. And for that, I'm going to give you some great value today. I'd like you to take a look at the board and let me know what we're working with here. Actually, I know you see this word right here that says now. Check out this shirt I'm wearing, because this is actually very important. This is the only reason I'm not wearing Q in the second promo. Give me 1 second. The only reason why you're not seeing me in this Cosmic Nomad shirt right here, the only reason why you're not seeing this is because I thought that today's shirt was actually so much more complimentary of the discussion that we were going to get into. This says, here we are, that's all we have, here and now. And then the back says something too. I don't know if you could read all of that. Let me try to read that for me. I don't want to run my mic too much here. I know I already messed it up. Oh goodness. Today's episode is going to help us understand one of the aspects in our own lives that we can take control of to better navigate through our experiences on this journey. It's about understanding not just the present moment, but our ability to engage within the present moment so we can appreciate all that happens beyond, while not letting the beyond affect our ability to impact our present moment as intentionally as we can, as much as possible. This is an episode I've had cooking up for a while now, actually. And I'm starting to understand that the reason that I haven't promoted it or made it might be because I've been sitting in this position. If you're below the age of 18, cover your eyes when you read this. But the point of this video is to realize that you, as an entrepreneur, a creative artist, a non-traditional life person, you are waiting for validation that's never going to come to allow you to be the person that you came to this earth to be. And that is limiting you so much from being able to progress on your journey. The only thing that comes from that experience, that inability to address that truth, is resentment for everybody else who gets to live their life and pursue their dreams and goals, and jealousy and envy for people who are successful in doing that as well. We don't need to hold those feelings within us if we know within us we have the potential and we have the power to navigate our circumstances and our experiences to create opportunities to access the things in our life that will help us fully be able to appreciate us and our lives, rather than needing to siphon energy on other people's lives, minding other people's business that doesn't pay us. Let's focus on the value that not only we're creating for the world, but the value that's being reciprocated back into us, into this being that we are. In this capitalist system, too, it gets very easy to get lost in this mindset of almost pimping out your body, your skills, your time, everything that you are, in exchange for validation in your identity, so you don't get ostracized by society or like socially rejected. You have a reason to feel like you exist, and you have a reason to feel like you have purpose and meaning in this society, rather than allowing you to grow into, have the time and the space to accept yourself for the areas that still may be growing and still may need love from you before being presented out into the world. But that comes with maturing into the understanding that there are people in this life, on this journey you're going to grow to understand, that just, let's not get too into that. You're going to hear me talk a lot about personal responsibility on this page, because I'm starting to understand, not just feel now, that personal responsibility is the key to true power in this life, because the only true power that you have is not just awakening in this body, but connecting back to remembering that you are infinite, and in that infinity, you came down here to experience limitation, to experience setbacks and obstacles, to give yourself something to become, because you already were everything. But starting from zero, starting from square one, starting from square zero gives you a chance to do that process over and over and over again, while making unique experiences, learning new lessons, and developing infinitely your being, your soul, your consciousness, rather than feeling confined to the suffering that is attached to your human vessel. But not to get too lost from that, the more effort and intention you put in what you can take responsibility for in your own life, to change, to audit, to alchemize, you're starting to see these words here, the more responsibility you can take for what is going on in your body, in your present moment, in your current circumstance, the more you can intentionally change, the more you can adapt and pivot towards the direction that you're attempting to go to, and the people, the environment, the communities that you're attempting to align with, the less of this expectation to serve you that you need to put out into the world, and the less fear and anxiety that you need to have navigating a world where nobody knows what they're doing. So you can trust the work and the intention that you put into yourself every day, and allow the opportunities and the blessings to come to you while you are already becoming the person that deserves them. So you'll never miss anything. The only things you'll miss are things that aren't ready for you at that time that you cross them. And that's a blessing. because that saves you from a lot of healing that you need to do, unnecessary healing. And I understand it's, I may have some Christians on this page, and I am not anti-religion, anybody's religion. I think anybody should practice whatever religion allows them to cultivate a healthy, happy, socially contributive lifestyle on this earth. But one thing that the original sin mindset doesn't allow you to accept is every being, Christian or non-Christian, this religion or not religion, atheist or, like anybody has come into this earth has the power to save themselves. It doesn't end there, but everybody has the power to decide that they will take full responsibility to not just save themselves, but to maintain and care for and heal and to grow themselves and utilize this outer experience of opportunities and resources and people and new experiences. And I will use all of that to help me do that. I will allow my life, I will allow the universe, I will allow God, I will allow whatever that divine force that is greater than me, I will allow that to complete the leftover parts of my life that I can't get to, knowing that I've put all the intention and all the energy that I could into everything that I have had the ability to control. There's less of a need to depend on the external world that has proven time and time and time again it literally does not give a fuck about anybody other than the people who are willing to, against all odds, know they deserve it, do the work to get it, and then do the other work to maintain it. In this side where internal salvation and you're assuming the position of the person you're trying to be, the life you're trying to go to, when you're doing that for yourself, you're going to realize that this is going to take a lot more of your present moment. And let me just explain the process here. And let me explain why I put past, present, and future here instead of just explaining that, oh, you just do this or do that. Because as a human being in a 3D matrix, I need you to understand that you living in the present moment are the climax between all of your past experiences and every single opportunity and possibility that could come into the future. You are the climax of that. And unless you allow yourself to understand you are the past, the present, and the future all working in unison, attempting to understand the self within it, you will constantly find yourself existing in your past, where you should be letting stuff go, existing in the future, where you should be not worrying about things that far, and dissociating from the present because you don't have the strength to address the depth of whatever pain and trauma you're suppressing. Or you continue to reject yourself so much because your identity on the outside world is expecting you to make sure that you don't identify with this. Because your life, being able to pay your bills and keep the lights on, depends on this mask being perfect. To people whose lives are not dependent on their mask. But that's another conversation for another day. Understanding that you are the past, the present, and the future all together as one. How are we properly navigating, delegating truly energy from the universe to make sure that we are not being overwhelmed or drowning within our own being, our own infinity? How can we regulate that? Well, this is the step process that I've made. For the experiences of your past, the only thing you can get from your past is appreciation for what you had or lessons to help you learn and make better decisions in the future. There is no reason to sit in your past if it doesn't serve you going into your future or doesn't help you be the person that you need to be for your life experiences today. Because the universe will throw you another opportunity in a completely different form to address that trauma or address that insecurity or address that pain. You don't have to keep clinging on to people that you don't feel like you got all of your revenge from or you got all of your justice on. You don't have to keep dragging people from your past back up. Let them go, and if you haven't healed properly, the universe puts another person in front of you to address that, to confront that, to decide if you're the person who's going to address and elevate or avoid and decay, like many people choose to do, or avoid and escape. Putting on a new mask to cover up their truth again because they hate being confronted with the truth of who they are because it's that fucking scary. Since the only thing that you can bring from your past are lessons or things to appreciate, and things to appreciate, you don't need to do anything but allow them to continue to inspire you to move forward, you're going to alchemize the pain from your past. It already happened. There's nothing we can do now anymore because you are living on the other side of it. You didn't die. You thought you would, but you didn't. Now that you lived, what have you learned? Let's do the extraction of what we've learned. And how is that what we've learned going to allow us to not only become the person that we need to be in the present moment to address situations like this if they continue to happen, but also what do I know? What kind of habits do I need to change? What kind of things do I need to adapt to align with a healthier experience beyond myself? And what from my past is stopping me? What am I attached to or being pulled back to that's stopping me from fully being able to filter that energy so I am not the victim of my own unresolved trauma and experiences? And I can be a victim of the universe rewarding me as a consequence of all the intention and the commitment that I put into becoming who I desire to be in this life. Knowing it is for anybody to gain, it comes with sacrifice. And the greater the gain, the greater the sacrifice. We kind of dabbled into this just a second ago, but the present moment is for you to accept, to accept at the deepest level, because the only thing you cannot run away from is experiencing the present moment. You can attempt to escape into the past and into, your huddle high school football highlights. You can attempt to escape back there and remember who you thought you were. Or you can attempt to keep on shooting off dreams into the future. I'm going to be a millionaire and I'm going to be traveling the world and I'm going to be doing this to help you escape from how shitty your present moment is right now. But it's the people who can fully accept their present moment that are the ones who actually have a chance to work with the experiences and the opportunities and resources within that present moment. Now, those people are the ones that get to move and navigate into the future that they want, but truly bring the future that they want closer to them so they can experience it in the present moment, because there is no future and there is no past. It's all complexes made by the mind that refuses to fully accept itself in the present moment right now. Because when you're doing the most fun thing in your life, are you thinking about grades? Are you thinking about you being broke? Are you thinking about your breakup from like high school freshman year? No. When you're having fun, you're having a good time, you're in the present moment. And it's hard to get you out of there. But when your present moment is shit, how easy is it to escape out of there? This is why I ask you guys too, like, don't hate on your friends who start to go on a healing journey, a spiritual awakening journey, and they're spending a little less time outside, a little less time engaging in the social politics of like traditional society, because So many people are just getting traumatized, and just escape, suppress, escape, suppress, project. And they just are a shell of a human being by the time they're laying on their deathbed, with no real relationships, no money saved, no place to live, or no community that actually gives a fuck about them. Regretful, like many others, bro. Realize that you have to put this time in, especially if you decide that you want to become somebody, or you want to manifest a lifestyle or blessings or opportunities. You have to become the person that can see the opportunity, maximize on the opportunity, exploit the opportunity when you have to. And this comes with knowing yourself. This comes with being in the present moment. This comes with not needing to dissociate from your present, from your lineage, from your history, from your being, to be able to access that. And I truly believe, especially in the world that we live in, very few people have the opportunity to access that. The reason why I wrote attraction right here for future, which I'm glad I did, is because you aren't going to the future. I just said this maybe 2-3 minutes ago. You're not going to the future, my friend. You are bringing the future. You are literally, it's fishing. You're throwing your attention into the universe of infinite possibilities. And then you're streaming it back in. But okay, obviously there's the wait time in the middle of that, and you're allowing, the universe and the infinite opportunities to come see and match your intention, to see if the intention that you've set is worthy of the opportunity biting onto your hook. And when you've got that opportunity hooked, you better and reel that thing in. And appreciate it when you get it, when you bring that thing on board. Appreciate whatever you catch. But at the end of the day, you can't be, unless you're going in the ocean yourself and you're out here spearing these fish, you can't pick and choose, OG. You're at the mercy of the infinite amount of species of fish, or however many species of fish are in the lake. You had an idea of what you wanted. You know what kind of work you have to do to get it. But really, it's just intention and whatever you reel in. And a lot of people don't reel in nothing. And the people who get tired of not reeling in nothing either switch up their game. They adapt what kind of fish they're attracting. They adapt their rope, their pull, their anything. But they keep trying because they know when they have the right circumstances in their present moment, they're going to bring what they want to them. They understand that you'll be chasing fish forever if you jump out into the water trying to spear them. You'll be chasing them forever, and they will always run away from you because they traverse that water way better than you. So you need to play a different game. And you need to sit in this present moment. Make this person somebody who's not going to fuck up those blessings when they come to you, when you attract them to you. And be willing to accept whatever comes into your present. And if you get a couple fishies, take them home and alchemize them on the grill. Serve a little fish dinner. I know you guys like that fishy reference. I don't know. Do any of you guys fish? Let me know in the comments. Anybody who fishes? Anybody who's caught the coolest fish in the comments, I might give you a free Cosmic Nomad shirt. I'm feeling that today. Coolest comment, free Cosmic Nomad. Who knows? Shit, I might even sign you a letter in there. Let's get started on this part of the video though. This is where most of our world lives, in this state of almost entitlement to convenience. Personal responsibility has been given off for convenience of somebody else taking responsibility. But what many people fail to realize is that just as much as convenient as it is to allow somebody else to take responsibility, they also, you, the person who sacrificed taking responsibility for your own circumstances, are at the mercy of the decisions that that person makes with your personal power now. Because you are at the mercy of their power. I'm so sorry if that was a word salad, but the importance is being here now. Focusing on being here while allowing your mind to do these things. But being here and taking and the only person that can be here now in your present moment, it's that guy. It's that guy. It's that guy. Okay? Now, I just explained to you why I want you to look at, or at least I perceive time in a threefold past, present, future, all working together. And us as a living, growing human being, a consciousness in living form, we are the climax of that. And that can be very overwhelming for people who are taught that time is just 24 hours, sun goes up, sun goes down. You just find your place in those 24 hours and hope that, somebody doesn't decide that they're entitled to instruct you what you do during that time. Rather than, oh my goodness, all of it is important. I can't suppress my past because I lived through that for a reason. I can't escape my present because this is the only person I'll have. This is the only person that I die with. I can't block my future because that's my destiny. And I can't separate them because I am all of them at the same time. I am the living climax of soul conscious in human form, living as a consequence of the past, as a potential viewer, experiencer, dreamer into the future. Experiencer is not a fucking word. Do not use that in your fucking essays. And as a living being in the present moment. I just think that's such a beautiful realization. I don't want you guys to ever forget that. There are aspects of yourself, like it's about not just accepting yourself in the present moment. It's about accepting all of who you are, who you were, and who you have the potential to be, and allowing life to help you co-create a reality that allows you to be the fullness of whatever the fuck that is, even if you don't know what that is yet. But of course, a version of yourself that is not rejecting you from the foundational soul level and then sabotaging the life that you have the potential to create. That's what I, hopefully, with this video, can help you shy away from and grow closer to a world where your life is the consequence of your decisions, not of your circumstances. When you aren't taking that responsibility, when you're giving that up, when you're choosing convenience, you're either going to sit comfortably in the past that you were. Remember when I was just talking maybe 10 minutes ago about your high school huddle highlights, your football highlights that you can't get enough of to help you remember the man that you used to be as you sit here and you work on your 10th year on the construction job with like an alcohol problem? I hate to call people out. I know. I hate to call people out, but let's be honest, bro. You played 1 year of college ball. You didn't play no college ball. You a fan now. It's okay to let that version of yourself sit behind and let that version of yourself be proud of the person that you've become, letting the cleats hang up now. Letting the bat down, letting the football pads on the ground now, and becoming the man that you need to be, becoming a man that can not only inspire the version of you when you were a kid, but becoming the man that could support that version of you to help them see either through that athletic path with more intention and more commitment, or grow closer into the other aspects of the life that you wish you could have invested in, that you were spending all your time playing a sport that you weren't gonna ball at. Don't be that person that is escaping in who you were, or escaping in that one award that you won. The one hot chick you had sex with, bro. Don't be that guy, bro. And I know I'm speaking to guys and girls on my page, but this might be just a guy specific problem. Don't be that guy. You had sex with one girl and she's fine as hell, and now that's your whole identity. You will learn soon, brother. And if you aren't somebody who is struggling to leave behind your past, um, you will be somebody who is either ruminating on how shitty it was, but not either. You're ruminating on how shitty it was, and the only thing to do is just fall just into that spiral depression of how shitty it was, or keep running like you're running out of quicksand, attempting to escape how shitty it was, saying, oh no, it's okay. I'm just going to dissociate from my present moment, which is a consequence of my inability to resolve what's happening in my past. And I'm going to destroy any opportunity of having a future worth living in. You see how, regardless if you give a fuck or not about aligning all of these, they all tie into each other anyway? Gang, I give a fuck about you, bro. I promise. I promise I do. This is going to sound like it hurts, bro. And I know a lot of this shit sounds like it's mean as fuck, bro. Especially from somebody like me. I want to let you guys know I've never even been this confident ever in my life, bro. I had to force this out of myself, bro. So hopefully these words of encouragement, that's what I hope they're coming off as, can help you give a little bit of that tough love to yourself in areas of your life that you're slacking, stopping you from being able to not only take personal responsibility, I know it's hard, but to live the life that you desire to live without needing to depend on this external world to be anything for you that it's not. Because I promise you, reality is nothing that it fucking seems, bro. Nothing like it seems, forgive me. So we have our past, people with their past problems. Again, that's your foundation. You will never escape long enough. There's no amount of sex you can have that'll help you escape your mother not loving you. There's no amount of validation you can get from the boys that's going to compensate your dad not supporting you and loving you and feeling appreciative of having you. There's no amount of friends you can have that's going to stop you from realizing that you can't have deep, emotional, intimate connections with people because you either don't like yourself at that level or you've just never gone there and you're kind of going with the flow. It's all tied into each other. It's all tied into each other. And that is going to lead to a present moment where the second you stop feeling that drive, whether it's after you leave high school, after you get out of college, when you finally get that first 9 to 5, once you feel like you've hit your point where there's just no inspiration to continue to push you to go to any levels. You graduated when nobody else in your family did. You got married and you have kids and whatnot, and you're good living your life. You got the job you wanted. Now you're kind of just there. That causes a lot of people to get complacent, bro. Complacent as fuck. Complacent as fuck. Thinking that the cop-out of working so hard, of selling yourself as a child, selling that freedom, selling that authenticity was going to spare you with security. All it did was force you into cycles, decade-long cycles of reinforcing that you are this thing, you are an identity. And it's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad to be complacent, especially if you're regulating a healthy lifestyle. But if you desire, again, you're a non-traditional life path person, you're an entrepreneur, a creative artist, an athlete even, somebody who isn't going the traditional way, you cannot be complacent because you cannot put yourself in a position to depend on a world that you don't know for a fact is a certain way. You have to be able to lean almost completely on the work that you've done, the support that you have, and who you are going to become, your resume. You have to be able to almost fully depend on that. Or else you will literally become a cog of somebody else's system. The other person who has decided that they can not only take responsibility for their life, but they can give other people responsibility and then compensate them for it. And then because you're getting compensated enough to pay your bills, you're getting compensated enough to be socially validated, to go to the parties or whatnot. Now you're just gonna stick in that being as long as you possibly fucking can. Because you don't want to go through the process of letting people go, of auditing your life, of transforming where you live, where you eat, how you freaking sleep. You don't want to keep doing that. Because the whole point of your life was to get to a destination to where you didn't have to worry, or a destination, period, rather than understanding it's not the destination that's going to save you. It's you realizing that your whole life, every day that you're here, bro, you have to be responsible for yourself. And the more you accept that, the earlier you accept that, the more intention you put into that at an earlier age consistently, the easier it gets to navigate through this experience, and the easier it gets to process that you're just here to live and die and do whatever the fuck happens in between that. And it doesn't matter the relationship, it doesn't matter the dream car, it doesn't matter the dream house, it doesn't matter how many drugs you can take, it doesn't matter how many girls you can have sex with, it doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. None of that will save you if you aren't willing to fully accept yourself and accept the responsibility that you must take in this life. None of that will save you. And this world that we live in is so backwards because it literally sells you external salvation. It says, hey, if you get this next product, if you get this next skincare product, you're going to have baby soft skin. You get this next Louis Vuitton jacket, you're going to get all the high class New York Hamptons girls. If you swing this baseball bat that's $800, you're going to hit home runs like Mike Trout, a famous baseball player. But there's kids in Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic that are swinging $10 used bats, and they're hitting like Mike Trout, a professional baseball player, at 12 years old. It's just we're so ingrained. This consumer mindset in America is just, it puts us in this position to where it's the next thing is constantly going to save us or do us better than the last thing that we just consumed. And because it is, we can just throw this away if we don't like it and then just consume the next thing and then keep being in cycles of hyper consumption. Now I'm starting to think about it. This kind of ties into hookup culture a little bit, but we're going to have another conversation about that. But it's just constantly, well, I'm going to consume things to make me feel a way that none of this stuff is going to ever make me feel. Keep getting further and further and further away from myself as I continue to consume stuff, continue to leave who I really am in the things I'm consuming rather than seeing who I am and how that may tie into why I'm consuming these things. And then literally just be a shell, almost like a walking billboard for capitalism, when capitalism has not served me anything but hopes and dreams and the illusion of salvation because I refuse to get it for myself and to stand on that and only go into the world to decide that I want the things I want when I want them. Because that would completely fuck up this infinite growth illusion that capitalism wants to sell us. Maybe that's just me though, huh? Are you starting to see a pattern in these past, present, and future? How comfort, complacency, conformity, it's all about fear of change, fear of becoming, fear of releasing oneself and diving into the abyss that is the unknown and almost working backwards to find out who you are and then starting a forwards journey of appreciating and accepting and expressing that with the world. because you know yourself to a depth that the world can't invalidate you out of your knowing of yourself. This is why know thyself is one of the most important philosophical phrases ever uttered in human history. Because when you know yourself and you know that you aren't this static person, you are a dynamic, growing, complex being, and you always have the opportunity to be whoever you want to be. It's just a matter of steps and pivoting to that. No more do I have to say. What is there to worry about? The reason why I had to make that connection of the comfort, complacency, conformity is again, maybe I just said this, but hopefully I didn't. I really just want to reinforce these things into you guys. This is a consequence of being so afraid of who the fuck you are, bro, that you just don't want to take responsibility for going on that journey. Because again, it doesn't just, you can't just flip-flop into who you really are and adjusting and accommodating your life in that way anymore. You have to sabotage all of this because none of this is conducive to helping you become who you came here to be, because your soul is growing from the inside of you, outside of you. Like you plant a seed into the ground and the flowers grow. That is you. The flowers are, you are a walking garden, literally a walking garden. But the seed was born within you. And you continue to utilize this world and the resources that this world has to water that seed that sits within you and allow it to flourish, and then appreciate what plants come out of you, figuratively, of course, what plants flourish out of you, and love and appreciate that and continue to go on this eternal process of caring for that garden that is you, the living being soul in an earth body. You're not a human being who is seeking validation in identity from a society that is made by the sickest human beings in human history. You know who you are outside of this, and you're contributing who you know you are to a collective of people, a society, a community of people who can utilize what you can do to complement serving the needs of that community. Now, when you allow that community to get too big and you allow the power to get too centralized, you have something like America. Just an oligarchy. You guys may be questioning why I chose to write that instead of COME. Well, one, because I don't give a fuck. I love saying that so much. Two, because think about this. Actually, I don't know if I can use that. I don't know. I don't know the demographic of my. No, I'm not going to say that. It was just a perfect analogy, but I'm realizing like the guidelines and whatnot, and they. I'm so sorry, bro. Allow me to debate with myself whether or not I want to give this analogy, and then we can wrap this video up. Okay, I just found the perfect analogy that I'm trying to use for this, because I know I can't necessarily use that word here, but I want you to think about it like this. Think about it as a young man experiencing rejection. Bad, fine thing right there. Rejects young bull. So he has two decisions that he can make. He can sit and pout and let this Allow this girl to live her life and whatnot and just sit there with anger and resentment towards her. She's a B word. She's a POS. She's a insert word here, derogatory word towards women here. And she's just living her life, just making it clear, hey, I don't want you. I want people, but I don't want you. That's a hard thing for young men to accept. That's a hard thing for men to accept at any age in this life. But again, for this specific situation, the kid is basically waiting for either that girl to come get him and save him, or he's waiting for other boys who've been traumatized. In this day and age, it's way more prevalent. He's waiting for other boys who've also been traumatized to validate his trauma, validate his hatred for women now, and then not force him to go on a process of healing and growing and maybe becoming somebody who can attract women who actually like him. Not just attract women, period. Because you don't want every woman. But attracting women who love him when he's ready. When he's ready to serve them, to be there for them, to compliment them. And again, not just ready to serve, but ready to let them go when need be. Ready to respect conflict, confrontation, and separation. Because you don't deserve to have anybody if you aren't in a healthy position to address those things, confrontation, and address that these relationships and experiences awaken parts of you that you might not have healed or be aware of. But in sitting in this pouty ass process, you develop these ideologies and these excuses as to why you weren't successful the first time, rather than creating opportunities to be successful a next time while learning from why you weren't successful, while never having to wait on somebody who told you in the present moment they don't want you. So give it up. This is why one of the next episodes I'm going to do is rejection is divine protection, man. Because a lot of you guys really be trying to force opportunities that don't need to exist. Because there's literally somebody, somewhere. We live in the internet age. You can find somebody. You're lazy if you can't. But you can find somebody who aligns with your perspective on this world, bro. The only way in which that would be a problem is if them aligning with your perspective ends up creating a real life consequence that is a shitty life, and then you can't find anybody else to project that onto because you and your little partner that you wanted to collab in ignorance with can't think intelligently. So then you blame all the sexy girls who's out here enjoying themselves in the world where people love sexy girls. And you can't get them. So you can't experience that. You can't participate in the conversation, nigga. I'm always going to talk about it, man. I'm always going to talk about personal responsibility. As much as you can take, that is all the universe will ever ask from you. As much as you can give to your dreams, to your life, to the things you love, to what you're passionate about, as much as you can give, the universe, that is all the universe is asking from you. And when the universe becomes aware of that level of intention, and remember, only you can decide what level that is. When the universe becomes aware of that, this is how quickly things start happening. Things start getting put in favor. Things start being put in front of your eyes. People start being let go from your life, released from your connections and attachments. Changes start coming up and being asked to be made. Decisions are asked to be made. And that can be very overwhelming. But remember, when you are starting to show, when you really decide, and you really get to that point when you're like, damn, nobody can save me, man. Nobody can save me. And the thing that I'm running away from, or I'm suppressing, or I'm trying to reject, is my fucking destiny, bro. And at that point, the only thing you could do is look yourself in the mirror and question why you are afraid of what you came here to do. Because nobody can help you answer that but yourself. I love you guys so much. Thank you for sitting here watching this whole entire video. If you want to support the channel, links in the description below. I might do a little outro here where I have all my links and all my stuff, and you guys can just go make your way with that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for opening your mind up to these conversations. I know some of them may be uncomfortable, but it's important. We deserve this. Our people deserve this. And the people who have yet to see how amazing you are deserve to see the best version of you. And even if they never see it, you deserve an opportunity to give yourself that chance. Thank you for being here. Keep rocking.